mare dare. Figlia mia, tu da dare, mamma mia, pensaccia tu. Se te piglia lo pesce, io vesso vai, serena, se lo pesce a malatena. Se ci incappa la fantasia dei pescioli a pigliuzzare, la riola, pesce fritto e baccalà, uè compà, calamara c'ha già catà. Second stanza. C'è una luna a mezzo mare, mamma mia, mamma ridare.
Hi everybody, so today I'm making a couple of things. I'm going to make some bread, I'm going to make some ravioli, beef ravioli, and maybe some mushroom ravioli, and some little apple tartlets for dessert. The reason I'm making bread, and this is just regular bread, it's not soda bread, is because, how's everyone doing in the storm, by the way? It's not too bad here, it's like icy rain right now. I think it's mixed with snow, I'm not sure. They said we're going to get some snow. But basically, when I went to the store, there was nothing. It looked like people were preparing for a siege. So I decided to make some bread. It's much nicer anyway. And we'll go from there. Okay, so in this bowl I have 3 cups of flour. I use bread flour. Over here I have a tablespoonful of yeast with a 1/4 cup of water, so we're going to add that. Now in this flour is a teaspoon of salt, and in the yeast there's a teaspoon of sugar. So I use some warm water so it's ready to roll. So basically just add it. And the way I've seen people do it is instead of kneading it, let me get a spoon. Yeah. Instead of kneading it, I've got like they say to use a spoon, actually a wooden spoon, or the edge of the spoon, and just mix it up. Now I'm also going to need, let me see, 1.5 cups of water. Okay, so let's add a little bit of water. Just add it gradually, you don't pour it all in. And then mix it with the end of the spoon. Mix it like so. Needs a little more. So you get all the dry bits in. Yeah, actually, it's way better to make your bread. The bread today, I don't know, like our bread in England, you can leave it out for like a few days and then it goes mouldy. Or it did do. I don't know if it does now. It's been a long while since I've actually been in England. But, you know, it would go mouldy. But I've noticed, like, well, I never really liked American bread, to be honest, simply because to me it tastes like cake. It has a lot of preservatives in it. It never goes mouldy. How is that? How does that happen? So just knead it a little bit, add a little more flour, it's a little sticky. In fact, one way to do it as well is add a little bit of olive oil on your hands, and that way it doesn't stick to you. Yeah. And my thing keeps hitting there. Yeah. So, and then basically what you do is add a little bit of flour on it. There we go. And what we do is make it into a ball. Smooth doughy ball. And Homemade bread is so much better anyway, so in a way it's a win-win, and it doesn't take that long. So basically just leave it like that, and then let it rest, or they call it proving it, for a couple of hours. So I'll cover that with a cloth and keep it in a warm place so that it can rise, and that has to prove for a couple of hours. Okay, so first I'm going to do the ravioli filling. So, oh crap, that's hot. So I nearly burnt my damn hand off. All right, so in this pan is some olive oil and melted butter. So to that, I'm going to add some shallots and garlic. Now this filling is for the beef raviolis. Okay, I'm going to use my garlic crusher. Okay. Oops, and dropped it over there. Let me lower that down a little bit. Just don't brown it, you just kind of make them a little translucent, that's all. And there's nothing like fresh garlic. You can use, you know, a lot of people like to use the garlic powder, but it's not as good. Doesn't taste as good. Or you can use, you know, they've got the jar where it's already crushed. That isn't as good either. I don't think either one of them are. I prefer to just peeling the garlic can be a pain, but I've got a little thingy that you just stick the garlic in and just rummage it around, and it peels it for you. I think I showed you that last time when I was making chicken masala. Yeah, so crush the garlic, put in there. There we are. Okay. And I have the meat. It's Wagyu beef. Now I got this from Aldi, and usually Wagyu beef is expensive, but this was on sale, so I decided to get it because it's grass-fed, it's way better, it has some marbling through it, you know, it's not, I believe it's from Japan, but anyway, as you can see, it doesn't look like regular hamburger, and I like that. You can tell it's just real beef. So basically just brown it. Just let that brown. The shallots and the garlic. I'll add a little bit of salt. Just a little salt. I don't add a lot of salt to my food. And some black pepper. And let it brown. Okay, so I'll be back in a moment when it's browned and show you what's next. Okay, so the meat has browned. It didn't take too long. So I add in, can turn it off now, and add in a handful of spinach. And Parmesan cheese, which now a lot of people like to add. You can add ricotta. I'm not a fan of ricotta cheese at all. I really don't like it. I don't like cottage cheese either. So I prefer to put Parmesan. You can put whatever cheese you want, mortadella. They didn't have any in the store, so I'm just going to put some Parmesan cheese in there. And I'm going to add some mozzarella into it. Now I do really like the fresh mozzarella, but there wasn't any, so we've got to do with make do with what I have. There we go. That'll do. And Nina, who she was my neighbour upstairs in Italy, she would always add egg whites to it. I'm not exactly sure why. She says that it gives it, makes it more light and fluffy, I believe. And the last but not least, and hopefully I have some, I believe I do, in here somewhere. Hold on. Add some breadcrumbs. There we go. That should do it. And then just combine it all together. I wish you could smell this. It smells wonderful. Anyway, next step is to put it in the blender. So let me show you what it looks like. It's got the cheese, shallots, garlic, spinach, breadcrumbs, and egg whites. Okay, so the filling, the beef filling for the ravioli is here in the pulser. So I had to pulse it up. And so now I'm making the pasta. Now it's 2 cups of flour, a teaspoonful of olive oil, and 3 large eggs. And basically you form a well and make the dough. So I won't bore you with me watching me mix this, but when it's ready into the dough, I'll show you what comes next. Okay, so the pasta dough is ready. Just shape it into a ball. I've kneaded it for about 10 minutes, so I didn't want to bore you with that. If you're wondering what that noise is, that's Lady Diana there drinking. Could you drink any louder, Lady Di, or what? My goodness. Yeah, so you just kind of mold it into a ball, then wrap it tightly into saran wrap and let it rest for like 30 minutes so that the gluten expands. And then I'll show you what comes next. Okay, so while the pasta dough is still resting, I've got that here. The bread dough rose, so I'm going to give it another little knead. Put it into a ball and let it rise again. There we go. Okay, and then you just let it rise. Once again, I'll put the lid on this. Okay, so while the pasta's resting, I'm going to make the sauce. It's called a pomodoro sauce. Pomodoro is tomato. And basically, it's very simple, but it's delicious. It's tomatoes, shallots, and garlic. So you just saute them in some olive oil that's already in the pan. Then I'm adding some basil. I have to use this type of basil because they didn't have fresh basil in the store because everything was gone. I'm adding some Italian herbs to it. Also some black pepper. And that's it. I don't add salt to mine, but you can add salt to taste if you want to, but I don't add salt. I don't think it needs it. So you just saute this up. I'll show you it when it's done. I'm just waiting on the pasta to relax, and then I'll show you how I make the raviolis. In the meantime, I put the filling in the fridge. So everything will be ready to go, and let's get this done, and then I'll show you the next step. Okay, so the pasta dough is ready. So what I did is cut it into 4, and then I've already put one through my pasta roller. I'm gonna give it one more time. The thinner the better. So I'll just roll it through like so. Catch it at the bottom. Voila. And then just put that on a floured board. And so the next little bit, basically, I just roll it out into a like a semi-type circle, like so. And then yeah, this has different hang on a minute. Yeah, this has different widths for the pasta. So I'll start with the thickest one and then just roll it through. Oh, yeah, it's hard to keep it. There is a thingy for it here, like a thing that keeps it stuck to the table, but it keeps coming loose for some reason. There we go. There we are. And so I'll roll it through the thickest one a couple of times. And then go to the next one. Let's see. Yeah, the next one. Yeah, it's got all different sizes. So I'll roll it through each size till I get to the thinnest one. Like so. Do it a couple of times. There we are. Because the thinner the ravioli, the better. But you know, not too thin so that it breaks. There we go. And one more time, I'll bring it to the smallest number. Will it go through again? There we go. See, and it comes out like that. I'm going to give it one more go. I've done one of them already, but yeah. Okay, so it's very simple. That's my thing to keep it on the table fell off. So I'm just best off holding it But yeah, it's ready to go. So it's ready. See there? And then put it on the cutting board. I've got my other 2 pieces of pasta here, which I will do in a little bit. But I'm going to make the first raviolis, and then I'll show you when it's all done. Yeah. So you put it on a floured board. Some people like to dry the pasta out. I don't personally. You know, it's not necessary. You can if you want to, but I generally don't do it. And then these 2 other bits. Now with the pasta, because I am going to make some mushroom ravioli too, but I'll probably do that tomorrow because it's getting a bit late now. Let's see how our bread is doing. Oh, these off of Amazon. This is a cute one. Look, it's a little heart one. So that'll be good for Valentine's Day if you're making something. You can do it with the ravioli cutter, or you can make round raviolis or bigger square ones. So I got the meat out from earlier. Remember the beef, the Wagyu beef and the cheese, etc. And so basically what you do is spoon a little bit, not too much, because you don't want them to burst. Spoon a little bit and put there. You don't put too much, like that. There we are. Can you see that? See, like a little mound, like that. So a little bit. Again, just put it in there like so. There we go. You make like a little meatball like that and put like so. There we go. Yeah, don't overstuff it because it'll, when you boil it, it'll burst up open. So I think I put a little bit too much of that one. Yeah, I definitely put too much there. So we want it like that. Yeah. That's how we want it looking. There we go. Now, what you can do is just fold it over like so. Find each little mold like that. There we go. Okay, so you see it like that. Now, I prefer to use this, so you can cut the raviolis. Well, the other way to do it as well, actually, let me open this up. Probably the better way to do it, and it's probably better to do it now than before cutting, is to get some water and put around to seal the raviolis, so that when you do put them together, they seal, because you do need a good seal. But then when you boil them, you see, you don't boil them like rapid boil them, you just boil them gently. Then roll the dough over like so. Right. There we go. There we are, like so. There we are. Okay, and then I like to use the wheel because it makes it look pretty. Then press it to make sure it's sealed. There we go. And there we are, one ravioli. And you just continue like that till all your raviolis are done. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and when they're all done, I'll show you the next step.
I love the spotted bananas. My rib is feeling, it's good today. It's good today. I'm making.
Okay, so the raviolis are ready. As you can see, they're all ready to go. So in here I boiled some water, olive oil and a little bit of salt. So you boil them gently in the water, like so. Don't put too many in at once, but you don't boil them vigorously because it'll make them burst open, but you boil them gently like this. And then this is the pomodoro that's heating up right now. It's a little bit of steamy, so you can hardly see it. But anyway, I'll show you it when it's all done. Okay, so the bread's ready. It smells wonderful. And it's delicious. Okay, so it's ready. So what I did, I put the pomodoro sauce, some Italian parsley and some grated parmesan. And voila, beef ravioli.